Hello, Elias Monshe here on a very special edition of our broadcast. So this is not a regular broadcast, but I just wanted to, so this is not like a regular broadcast, but I just wanted to discuss briefly the results that we've just received from the Electoral Commission of Zambia. And as you can see, my picture quality is not very nice, so I am going to do it without the video. Okay, so I have seen the results, and so I am going to take a few moments to just look at them now. I didn't get all the numbers, but I will tell you some of the numbers that I got, the trends that I'm seeing, and give you the trends that I see happening. Okay, so I will give you an idea of my own trends, of how I see this one going. With my co-host, Mr. Chipakupako, I think tomorrow we are going to look deeply into these numbers that we've been given and see how it will work. But for now, let me just give you a quick rundown of the numbers, the way I was taking them. Okay, that is the way I was taking them, and I will give you my what I think about it. And I want to hear from you as well. Okay, I want to hear from you about what you think is happening here. Okay, so what I have noticed, let me just retrieve those numbers once more. You know, this thing of technology here, it's quite challenging as always, but let's just look at the numbers. And I will give you an idea. All right. So we have 15 constituencies, but I did not write down all of them. I will give you an idea of the ones that I got. First of all, the results are not surprising, considering that they seem to be confirming the trend that we have noticed with other data plus PVT numbers that have been widely circulated and discussed. However, in order for us to look at these, the 15 constituencies provide a good sample of the electorate in Zambia, right? Because they are taken almost from every province. Maybe there are just a few provinces that are not regarded, but it will give us a very good idea of the numbers. Okay. The first one that I notice, and very interesting, is in Nchanga. Now, Nchanga is important because it is one of the hubs of the Copperbelt, right? So Nchanga is a mining constituency with a huge mining population, very huge mining population, lots of miners in Nchanga, and lots of former miners in Nchanga. And so HH has overperformed Edgar Lungu by about 3,000, not 3,000, by about 5,000 votes. So Lungu had 14,000 and HH had 19,000 or somewhere thereabout. That's in Nchanga. And the percentage turnout is about 73%. Now, this is very consistent with the past records on the Copperbelt. Now, if we extrapolate that figure and apply it to the rest of the Copperbelt, it means then that Hakainde Hichilema is likely to emerge out of the Copperbelt with significant votes over Edgar Lungu. Okay. So even if we were to put it at 200,000 votes over Edgar Lungu from the Copperbelt, that is huge, okay? Considering that in the previous election, Edgar Lungu performed over HH by quite a significant margin. So if HH emerges out of the Copperbelt with 200,000 more votes than Edgar Lungu, there is just no way that Edgar Lungu is going to catch up and win this presidential election without significant wins on the Copperbelt. And from what we are seeing with Nchanga, it's a pointer that the Lungu candidacy is in deep, deep trouble, okay? So that's in Changa, and that's the pointer with 73%. And now, when we look at Ikelenyi and Maninga, this is Northwestern province. Now, Ikelenyi was at 85% voter turnout. Maninga is at 79% voter turnout, which means Northwestern province is overperforming Copperbelt, is doing far much better in terms of voter turnout, which is going to be quite significant. And so ECL in Maninga received about 1,500 votes, HH 17,000 votes. Ikelenyi, ECL 1,300 votes and HH 13,000 votes. With this high percentage of turnout, it gives a huge, huge advantage to Mr. Hakainde Hichilema in Northwestern province. The other one is Lupososhi. Now, Lupososhi, the turnout, what I took down here is 79.96%. So what this means is that HH has gotten 6,000 votes. Lupososhi is Northern Province. So Lupososhi is like the creme de la creme of Northern Province. That's perhaps the wrong terminology, but anyway, it's creme de la creme, Lupososhi. It's a very, very significant constituency of the Patriotic Front. I think it's one of the constituencies where the PF started. And Hakainde Hichilema has made significant improvements there, and trailing Lungu by about 10,000 votes just in Lupososhi. If we used that as the standard and extrapolated it up to the entire Northern province or Muchinga, I'm not sure whether Lupososhi is now in Muchinga or in Northern. Once we extrapolate those figures, they look very good for Edgar Lungu. For Northern Province, but what we notice is significant inroads by Hakainde Hichilema, and so those are the those are the trends that I'm noticing. Mokushi, not very huge surprise there. That's the land of the Lalas and the Swakas, and the difference between Edgar Lungu and HH is just 2,000. Mokushi North did go to the Patriotic Front in the previous election. So the fact that HH has made significant improvement there spells doom for ECL. There is another constituency, I think, in Petauke, but I did not get the name. ECL was dominant there with 10,000 votes and HH 3,773 votes. Chirundu follows the trends of Southern Province, okay? Even if it's Lusaka Province, but Chirundu follows the trend of Southern Province. HH was at 20,543 and ECL was at 2,992 with a turnout of 71%. Now, if Chirundu is given us that turnout of about 79.6% or 79%, if we applied it to Southern Province, that is going to mean that we expect about 500,000 votes from Southern Province for Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. That's not even debatable. 500,000 plus, it could be more, okay? So that is going to be quite significant. And so what does this tell me? There is nothing new here, except to note that Mr. Hakainde Hichilema definitely has made very significant inroads. It's no longer just about the Zambezi provinces, but he's penetrated the north, he's penetrated the east, he's penetrated Lusaka, because Rufunsa numbers are also in, and they are very good for Hakainde Hichilema. And so when I look at all these trends, I really do not see where Edgar Lungu comes back, okay? There is just no way of this election going back the Edgar Lungu way, all right? So in conclusion, I think Edgar Lungu has lost this election. These 15 constituencies demonstrate just that, and there is no surprise here. I think they already have the results. People that have done PVT, they are sure that these are the numbers, okay? Is there anyone with a question? You can type it and then I'll be able to answer it. Yeah. So when as the numbers come in, we expect the Nchanga trends to be characteristic of the Copperbelt, urban areas, Copperbelt urban, that is constituencies in Kitwe, Chingola, Ndola, Luansha. Okay, those urban constituencies. The trend is likely to be the same for the rural constituencies, such as Lufwanyama, those in Lufwanyama district, and Masaiti. All those constituencies, they're likely to follow the same trend of favoring Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. And once he carries Copperbelt by about 200,000 votes, if we follow the trajectory we are getting from Nchanga, he will be unbeatable. Now, there is this debate about Lusaka. What happens if Lusaka flips significantly for Edgar Lungu? In order for there to be a dent in Hakainde Hichilema's lead, Lusaka must perform almost like 8-2 for Edgar Lungu, like 80% for Edgar Lungu in Lusaka, which is not the case at the moment, right? It's looking like it's very heavily leaning towards Hakainde Hichilema in the Lusaka constituencies. So all those that are holding up hope that there'll be some miracle that is going to make Edgar Lungu win, there is no miracle that is going to make Edgar Lungu win here. He's lost this election, and sadly that is the picture. Okay, do you have any questions? Trevor says we are in the lead. Yes. And then consolidated from the 156 constituencies, according to Robert, and I also did take it, is that currently the vote difference is 61,000. Okay. Now, Northern and Muchinga and Luapula is not likely to have more numbers. We don't expect huge numbers, a huge turnout in Northern Province that would be able to upset this lead out of 15 constituencies, right? Because 15 constituencies out of 156, that's quite a significant, huge chunk. And the fact that it's coming from, across the breadth of our country, it gives us a very significant picture, right? Of course, the PVT results are just there. They've given us some idea of where this thing is headed. And so the 15 confirmed constituencies confirms basically what we already know, that this election is being taken by Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Okay. So 141 constituencies are what is remaining. They also announced Mwanza-Womwe, and Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is still doing very well. Again, remember, the issue here is there is no way that Edgar Lungu wins this election if he's trailing on the Copperbelt and Lusaka. Okay. Now, assuming that he won Copperbelt and Lusaka, he would still need to make some inroads, significant inroads in his strongholds, and fend off Hakainde Hichilema. And he's not doing that, unfortunately. That is huge, right? He is not fending off Hakainde Hichilema's rise in the PF bedrooms, as we are calling them. And having lost the urban vote, there is just no way that Edgar Lungu recovers to actually beat Hakainde Hichilema. That's just not possible. Okay, you can't. And there are some that are fearing that there will be some numbers that are going to be cooked up. You can't cook up the numbers. It's not easy. You can't just drop numbers and make them, right. So that is not going to happen. Already by having 15 constituencies confirmed today, we are remaining with 141. There is no way that somebody is going to cook up figures, catch up with the 61,000 votes, and then overtake Hakainde Hichilema. So the cooking up figures theory is not going to work. I don't believe in it. I think there are other reasons why the ECZ was delaying to announce. They are probably trying to still negotiate some kind of a peaceful exit for Mr. Lungu. Yeah, but it's not that they are trying to cook up any figures. At the moment, there is no. It's not just possible to cook up any figures, right? Even from the strongholds of the PF. Yeah, because just one province, Southern Province, is going to handle the entire Northern Bloc. Okay, that is just reality. But we could, in fact, face a situation where you may not even need Southern Province. That Hakainde Hichilema can, in fact, take a lead over Edgar Lungu without the need for Southern Province. And so Southern Province becomes more or less like an icing on the cake, because numbers are going to come, just like they have come with Chirundu. 20,000 for Hakainde Hichilema and about 2,000 for Edgar Lungu. That's huge damage. And of course, Chirundu is a little bit more diverse, more cosmopolitan. Of course, it's a small village, but cosmopolitan in the sense that it has attracted several other peoples from different parts of the country, and so that's the picture that emerges there. Something that is not likely to be replicated once we begin going to the other parts of Southern Province. Western Province is the same. Northwestern Province is the same, with a high voter turnout. It means Edgar Lungu is in deep trouble. Now, you might be thinking that it's because I'm just biased, but the numbers are not biased here. Anyone who is trying to put up some hope, it's just that you are just trying to put up some hope, which is okay. Go ahead and do it. But this is a done deal. Okay. Someone is saying it's their birthday. Happy birthday. So that's a consolidated number, UPND 171. The other thing that is quite significant about these numbers is the collapse of third party of the third party. Basically, that has collapsed significantly, much more significantly than in 2016. The third party candidates have not performed very well. So that is quite sad, and it has collapsed. So this has been a battle between UPND and PF. And I think it will continue doing that. Yeah. Rapson says ES verified presidential results. So in Mwansabombwe, yeah, so in Feira, HH is at 6,500 and ECL is 6,000 and Feira and HH is 4,000. Mwansabombwe, HH is 4,000 and Edgar Lungu is 13,000. Again, you'll see the significant rise of the HH votes. You see, that's where now the PF, after this election, will need to really look at what went wrong. And I've always said it. I think the huge mistake was to go tribal. Mr. Chishimba Kambwele's strategy was pretty damaging to the chances of the Patriotic Front, unfortunately. Now, it's really unfair for us to heap this blame on Mr. Chishimba Kambwele, but it appears like that was the case. The problem with that tribal messaging was that it restricted the battlefield, you see? So it restricted the battlefield. It restricted the battleground provinces, so to speak, and it made the Patriotic Front to be on the defensive. That was a huge problem, and they need to look at that. Because if you stand on the Copperbelt and say that if you give Abatonga the leadership, they're going to appoint their own relatives, and these are tribalists, and these are hold meetings in their homes, and you are taking that message on the Copperbelt, and you take that message in Mokoshi, that message itself decampaigns you in Southern Province, first of all. But because Southern Province and Western Province and Northwestern Province are allies when it comes to reacting against Bemba tribalism, it means then that you've restricted your battle. Because if you as a member, you stand up on the Copperbelt and say, that message is being understood not only as against Tongas, it's being understood as against all the other tribes. And that creates a huge problem for the battleground. That is the consequence of that problem. So then it restricted the PF chances in all those provinces, even if they had some chance of gaining significant votes from Northwestern province, it evaporated with that messaging. In Western province, it evaporated. In Southern province, it will be zero. Okay? So just to give you a clear idea, ECL is going to perform worse in 2021 in Southern province than it did in 2016. And you know why? That kind of tribalist messaging. Okay? Now, what did it do to Hakainde Hichilema? It did not damage Hakainde Hichilema in Bemba areas. You see the problem? It never did. So Bemba areas were not likely to vote for Hakainde Hichilema because of Chishimba's message. No. Because what is the trend? The trend is that Hakainde Hichilema's performance has gone significantly up among the Bemba areas. Mwansabombwe, 4,000 votes in Mwansabombwe against Edgar Lungu's 13,000. That is almost like if you split that in you people who do percentages, you figure out what that percentage is, right? Almost like quarter, right? That's like a quarter for a person who was performing far much lower than that. It tells you something. And if this trend continues, it means then that Hakainde Hichilema is going to come out of Luapula with significant votes. Right? That is where the issue is. Now, when it comes to Eastern Province as well, they are splitting the votes in Eastern Province between HH and Edgar Lungu. In other words, the message, the tribalist approach that the Patriotic Front adopted, unfortunately, it damaged them in their own bedrooms. That is a huge, huge problem. I don't know why they thought that such a messaging would be appropriate. Because it's shocking. It's not that this thing was just done once and it was a mistake. In fact, President Lungu is on record recommending Chishimba Kambwiri and giving him the platform for the virtual rallies, and they carried on with a tribalist message. You just don't do that. Common sense. Now, this is not complicated. Common sense. You don't campaign like that. You just don't. Deal with issues. This was a very emotive campaign. So you don't go to tribe. No. But anyway, Benabadi Monad University and completely damaged the chances for the Patriotic Front. Right? So they were on the defensive everywhere. And because they are on the defensive, how do they react? They react by restrictions. They react by police tear gas. They react by stopping airplanes landing. And due to social media, you see what is happening here? All these results, you're getting them through social media. So social media has a lot of impact. And Hakainde Hichilema used social media to dramatize the issue, because some of it was, but he dramatized it very well. He made Edgar Lungu appear defensive, appear powerless, appear afraid and scared, like a scared little man. That is what Hakainde Hichilema made. That is the fume that he created, right? Because he tries to go to Mbala, they block him. And you know what? He goes live and takes a picture of what is going on. You know what it is making to the people of Mbala? They begin thinking twice. If this gentleman is so bad, then why are they blocking him? Why are they blocking him? And so that makes a lot of pictures, that makes a lot of messaging, and it hurts the Patriotic Front chances. I think if they are going to look back on this, these are some of the issues that they are going to grapple with of how they lost this election. Okay. Apo tule mboka nama vote the food day after inauguration. Okay. That's better. Okay. 10,000 to 3,700. Why is this suspicious? This is not suspicious. I wouldn't say this is suspicious. This is just expected. Yes, I think there is no one from the PVT that is saying that these results are not correct, at least for now. PVT numbers are consistent with this trend. They are not, they've not departed from the trends that are being seen, right? And in fact, if you are near a polling station and they have pasted all these Gen 20, is it Gen 20 or whatever they are calling them, G20A form, take a picture of it. It's a public document and upload it. Let's have a look at it. The law does not forbid that, and let's compare. But these results are consistent with most PVT things. And at 15, this is exactly how it should look like. I'm not surprised with the 61,000 vote lead. Yeah. It is too early to be analytical. This is just 10%. Okay, ngataolefa okuba analytical wemwaume, don't be. Tekuisa mukunjeba, mukunkontolola ine, don't be analytical. Why not? Wemwaume. We are sleeping late. Nomba na iwe tubike po headache yobe. This is 10% of the vote. So why not be analytical about it? We are going to be analytical. 1% kuba analytical. Nomba mulenje wabantu bonsa bakulayisha na banani. Mulefu abaye mukutambe fintu ifilubi. No, bafuire bamvuwa kwa ediya sheferi. Tuwareta. Yeah. We expected more than that. Yes, they'll bring them. I have no doubt about that. From 15 constituencies, how many MPs did he get? I don't know. They've not announced the MP results. Yeah, but it appears like wherever they are winning, whoever wins whichever constituency, it's pretty much the same with presidential as well, right? It's in very restricted situations where MPs overperform their presidents or presidents overperform their MPs. Very restricted situations. So I wouldn't be surprised if indeed it's the respective MPs that have won in the respective constituencies. Okay. This idea that somehow a president can overperform their MP is false. It's non-existent. And I know that some PF guys are trying to push this, that Edgar Lungu has somehow overperformed his MPs. No, Edgar Lungu is the damaged brand. So it's not that the PF is damaged. No, it's Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu is a damaged brand. You need to know that. Okay. You see, so Edgar Lungu is not overperforming his party. Edgar Lungu is the PF. He's damaged, completely damaged. So he's not going to overperform his MPs anywhere in Zambia. Not even in Eastern Province. Some independents, of course, we know them. They are PF, right? Like JJ Banda. Can you say that JJ Banda is not PF? Of course, he's PF. So we even if he's an independent, we know that he's PF and he's performing. His performance is very consistent with the performance of his president. Okay. Yeah. So Petauke Central is not surprising. Yeah. So for Nchanga, the difference is 4,281. This is huge. This is huge. Naomi Witherspoon, time is wasted. 16 parties. Why? Top 3 could do. No. They'll be announcing everyone. We are in for it. Lopososhi is Northern Province. Quite all right. Yeah. Bedroom, there is no. It's true. Adada is in same shitty hot sauce. Once Yeah, I wouldn't use that language though. Petauke, it's Kaumbwe. Yeah. So the constituency is Kaumbwe, not Petauke Central. Yeah. It's Kaumbwe. Kaumbwe constituency. Yeah. What are the other 15 constituencies at the rate of 1,000 difference is a good start. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, and the other reason is because of the distribution of the constituencies, right? I think they've taken a very good sample from all the provinces. Really, they've taken an urban constituency, which is in Changa. They've taken. I knew that Nchanga is one of the first constituencies to report always Nchanga. And so they've taken Changa, they've taken Northern Province, they've taken Wapula, they've taken a sample of Chirundu, which Chirundu I would say is Lusaka Rural, but also Southern Province with the voting patterns. And they've taken Ikelengi, which is Northwestern Province, and Central Province. So those constituencies at least give us an idea. I don't foresee where the particular provinces are going to depart markedly from these samples we've seen. Yeah. Ikelengi or Maninga, I don't think Northwestern Province is going to depart any significantly from the pattern that we've seen emerge with the two constituencies that have announced. I don't see the pattern changing in some parts of Central Province, right? Because Central Province is perhaps a very diverse, tribally diverse province. I think Central Province is the most tribally diverse province because it starts around the Bantu Botatwe area, and then it goes on to the lands of the Lalas and the Swakas. So it appears like if we took Mukushi North, it appears like the land of the Lalas and the Swakas are going to remain with the Patriotic Front, but with significant improvement of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Because at 14,000 as against 16,000 in Mukushi North, it tells you that Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is extremely competitive in that part of Central Province, right? But when you look at the Bantu Botatwe area in Central Province, be it the Lenje areas, going up to Kabwe, Kapiri, all those areas, you're going to see that the UPND is going to outperform the Lala Swaka areas. Yeah. What about Chililabombo? We are just receiving rumors. I don't know that Hakainde Hichilema has overperformed in Chililabombwe by 20,000. I don't know. Okay, well, I think we have to wait until we receive confirmation over that. I wouldn't vouch for it, but it appears like Chililabombwe was huge. Yeah. Real hope. The mainstay of these elections is that in PF strongholds, UPNDs maintain a small differences, whereas in UPND there are big margins. Yes, it's true. There is a huge margin that is being felt. And remember, Southern Province has not reported. So I'm just telling you that Southern Province will dump over 500,000 votes. Okay, that's what will happen. And so there is just no way that Edgar Lungu is going to win this election. Unfortunately, he's lost. He's a loser. Okay. Ndelanda kobwino aine. Ndelanda kobwino notukulanda is a loser. Naba loser. So we need to normalize okulusa. Fira chitika. Fisanga abaume. Kange na lusa. Nomba tulande jana ate talushire. Yeah, au mwande. Tulande ate talushire. Umuntu na lusa. Tulande ate talushire. Nangwa tulande ate alusa kopa nono. No, na lusa. And so big time. You see? because when I was voting in Chiwempala, people are angry one day. There will be significant gains of Haka in the Hitchlim. I had no idea that it will be that huge. Everybody that was talking every day, it's Pakwanja. Everyone who was talking there, it's Pakwanja. So I was quite surprised. And the results have confirmed it in Chingola, in Chiwempala, that it's been a very significant lopsided win in favor of Mr. Haka in the Hitchlim. And that has carried through the entire Copperbelt. And without Copperbelt, Edgar Lungu has no chance, zero chance. Of course, there is this thing that some people are priding themselves that no, there was a huge number of registered voters in the North. And what is the voter turnout? And how is Haka in the Hitchlim performing? Those are the indicators. Yeah. Mwalanda fye bwino omuntu ng'aluusa n'enshina nomba fwe no aine bamwene munjebeko naimo nomba tulande shane ati talushire ala ulushire kabiri ngenga waluusa n'enshina uluusa nomba tulande ati yo mgwaita ulushire pakuba tukumfuisheko bwino. I think that's what ECZ is trying to do. Kuya muzembere kako ati no bamdala at the father of the nation, wiruke, weka palove, wiruke. Everybody that eluke, nombo mwine nangwe, tarevuayo kwiruka. So nomba kanshi, they will be dropping all these bombs little by little. Mpaka akeshio kwa wada, yakakana. Yeah. It's a fact, you just said it as it is. Yeah. Without being given space on Kopala, he still beat ECL. Yeah. Yes, and I wonder how he will perform in Parliament without ECL. I feel for him. I know for sure Lusambo can't articulate. Yeah, I think Lusambo has done very well in Kabushi. Of course, the issue then only becomes the margin, right? Because the margin was quite small. We need to face it. Edgar Lungu is a damaged brand. It's a damaged brand. It will take us a few years to study exactly what happened. What exactly happened with this presidency, you know? What happened exactly? How did it get so bad? You know? Yeah. So yeah, the 15 that were announced, 3 Lusaka, 2 Eastern, 2 Central, 1 Southern, 4 Northwestern, 1 Copperbelt, 1 Northern, 1 Luapula. I think there is 1 Southern as well. There was a Southern, 1 Southern, yeah, Momba, which is one of the constituencies that report very early, and it's a significantly less populated constituency, but make no mistake, Southern Province is going to come on and dump at least 500,000 votes. Okay, that is reality, and I think when they were trying to disenfranchise Southern Province, they thought that they could disenfranchise Southern Province and enfranchise the North, but with the voter turnout, yeah, Southern Province can make up with significantly high voter turnout. And so basically everything that they planned, thinking that it was in their favor, has significantly backfired. If nale ipusha nebo njewe chisomo pantu vitakwa fyonzi fyo mule plan okuchita fyachita backfire fyaterera nomba ninji teri chisomo mwebo. How chisomo? Eastern needs to be punished for being behind always. How do you look at Mr. Mush? Mulefu oku panika vena chipata. Atibola atibola ni 90 muleti shani. How mkwae barifu avyo kuyumvuisha wino atibola ni 90. That's not correct. Tefo ibomba yo. Ama-results yellow mfuyika very early, actually, immediately after voting, ngabapokelela fyama sampling of polling stations, you know. In 2016, INF Charlie. Abatampile poku idishanya. It was UPND. Because bali mona from the data ya leiso kwebaze, they are in trouble. Abatampile poku idishanya this time nibanani. Niba PF. Because bali mona data ya leisati. Yati fiapena. I just have a sample, a few constituencies on the Copperbelt. Vaishi, but Copperbelt is gone. Fiapena. So number kwamba kwa kuchita accuse ECZ that no, it's ECZ. There was violence in Choma in Northwestern and Western Province. Now, how do you even get the guts to talk about that? The main issue was Chishimbakamwiri's tribalism. How do you even say that it was actually something else? No. Yeah. So Bola 90 minutes. Yeah, I'm wondering. But PF, but if yo, this is Bola in 90 minutes. People have already voted. I'm a vote kale kupenda na bapenda kale. All that is needed here is for ECZ to verify uko fima forms vimo fine. Apo penepo bale mwena tilimbi bala fichinje fima forms ama crooks. But it's not easy. And the UPN Navianavadi changela to have electoral observers at every polling station, to have a PVT thing, and to see. There are thousands of polling stations that they are tracking. Some they are show off, some they are not, but they are working at it. Yeah. So if you have a ball in a it's not true. The difference will be 4 million now. Emoba Henry Mwenga, 4 million difference. Now that's way too much. It won't be 4 million difference. It will be just significant to give HH 50+1 and change. Yeah. From the look of things, ACL has lost big margins in Southern Western and allowed HH to close up in Copperbelt. PF allowed Sige to frustrate their stronghold and neglected HH while he persisted, building up popularity in their bedroom. Yeah. Yes, I think when the time comes, if that's the way it looks like, Katwish. Because to what would you attribute this surge of the Hakainde Hichilema vote? Some of the people starting with on the line in Chwempala was that they got really angry when HH was refused to land on the Copperbelt, like in Chwempala. You know, the people of Chwempala went and started a mini riot because because HH was stopped from visiting Copperbelt. So the people were like, Umuntu, why would he say no to umunango kuisa tandara kwa Chwempala? Why? Nishu kumukanya. At Apopene, it's one of the things, if it leads to this significant surge in Hakainde's popularity in Chwempala, because it was perceived as being unfair. Yeah. Malcolm Chala, elected for being humble, fired for being arrogant. Yeah, it was serious. Yeah. Yeah, it was serious. The opposition party claims that they have won because of a huge turnout in Luapula, Muchinga, Eastern, and Lusaka. They are liars. Nivakerenka. Mama, Varekerenka. Even when numbers are there, Varekerenka. You see? Luapula, Northern, or whatever it is, they are not going to supply the votes that they think they need. And the reason is because HH has made significant inroads. Mwanza Bombwe, he's gotten 4,000 votes from Mwanza Bombwe today, right? 4,000 votes from Mwanza Bombwe. So if you say that there's a huge turnout in these areas, then it's going to increase the share of HH's share of votes in all these provinces. Right? Because Mwasabombo or even Lupososhi itself, that's all that matters. Because whatever is happening in Wapula, Northern, and Muchinga, once you flip it, Southern province will be able to handle and swallow all that. This is not insignificant. This is serious. This is a very serious loss for the Patriotic Front. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, PF won't do any election post-mortem because Longo is retiring and enjoy his best life. Yeah. I don't think there will be that post-mortem, and so the party is going to be in disarray. The Patriotic Front is very shaky, and I don't see it surviving at all. Yeah, it won't survive because the running mate is Luo, and she has no clout within the Patriotic Front. So who is going to take over? Who is going to take over from the Patriotic Front? It will just become like the MMD, unfortunately, which is pretty sad. Yeah. Robert, they were campaigning for HH by treating him as if he's not a Zambian. Yeah, I think that was a huge issue. Yeah. We know who campaigned for HH in Chuempala. Who did? Who did? Yeah. MMD is even stronger. Yeah. The Patriotic Front is going to disintegrate pretty quickly. And so the concerns will be, how do we ensure that there is a credible opposition? Because you need opposition. Zambia is a democracy, and you can't have a situation where you have the UPND dominating. Maybe Bate when DC can fill that void in. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, CK will take over PF after Lungu. Yeah, the issue is PF is CK is quite damaged. Those tribalist things he spewed, he's quite damaged. He's quite damaged. Unless if he comes back and apologizes, I don't know. But he's damaged. He's damaged politically. Yeah, he's damaged. Where is he going to campaign? Right? Eastern Province? Changing government will make politicians stop taking Zambians for a ride. It's true. Yeah, 109 MPs will give 2/3 majority in parliament, and I wouldn't want this 2/3 majority in parliament. It will be unacceptable. I just pray that we are not going to give any one political party a supermajority like this, right? Because and let's just face it, if one political party had that 2/3, they would have passed Bill 10. And Bill 10 would have just destroyed the fabric of our society. Oh gosh, that was a bad law. So no, we need checks and balances, honestly. And I don't think a supermajority would be good for offering checks and balances. We need checks and balances. Yeah. Southern Province should not forgive CK. Yeah, I think that was a huge mistake. And the thing is, it's not that he said it once and stopped. The problem was he continued saying those things. You don't do that. You don't just do that. You don't continue saying those things. You don't. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's it for now. We've done 15 minutes. Thank you very much for joining me on this rant. We'll wait at 11 and then we'll come back again with general in the evening so that we can analyze a more comprehensive list. Okay. Thank you. God bless you and God bless our country.